But I just don't understand why people can...
Well, since we want to go to school, let me take you there. You are not the father. Miss Miller, what you cheering? I'm a single mother with nobody that loves me or my child. What you cheering for?
The judge reads the case that involves a mother who claims that her 3-week-old son, Malcolm, is the child of Mr. Bowles. However, there is a twist in the case as the mother confesses. The confession leads to doubt.
Ms. Kavanaugh, you and your mother are appearing in court today to prove paternity of your 3-week-old son, Malcolm.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you claim his biological father is Mr. Bowles.
Yes, Your Honor.
Even though you admit to being intimate with another man, Mr. McElliott, during the window of conception.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, he's waiting outside of the courtroom, and he'll be joining us shortly.
Mr. Bowles makes a statement about what happened on their first night, and this statement arouses a reaction from the audience. When the woman realized she was pregnant, she informed Mr. Bowles and Mr. McElliott. Judge Lauren is curious as to why she informed both.
That's because when we first met the first night, we had within like 20 minutes of being in her house.
It wasn't within 20 minutes.
And then, like probably 3 weeks later, maybe 2 weeks later, I found like an open condom wrapper in her bathroom.
Well,
She had already said that
just because
like, I was the only person she was with. And so then I found the wrapper.
Just because I had him on the first night doesn't mean I had everybody on the first night. I actually cared for him and had feelings for him. We actually talked for a couple years on Facebook before I even met him. So we had some type of connection. It wasn't just he came over one night and just we did it. And then the condom that he's talking about, it was my friend's that I worked with. Her and her boyfriend spent the night, and that was that.
She said she used it. She said it was with her ex.
I feel like, Your Honor, that he is just trying to justify the reason why he believes he is not the father.
But did you tell him that you used that
No.
condom with your ex? So that's not true.
No, I feel like he's just trying to justify his reason.
Mr. Bowles provides more shocking proof as to why he believes he is not the father of Malcolm. The woman acknowledges the evidence. The judge asks Mr. Bowles how he felt about her pregnancy. Mr. Bowles' expressions reveal something surprising.
Also, before she got pregnant, she actually lied about being pregnant maybe like some weeks before. She lied about it.
That is true. The way that I found out that I was truly pregnant with my son is because I was very childish when I was talking to Mr. Bowles. Like, I really cared about him, and I desperately wanted him to care about me because we were with each other basically every other night, if not every night. He was coming to my house. Like, he lived about 30 minutes away, worked about 30 minutes away, was always coming to see me. He gave me the wrong impression, really. So when I did childishly try to fake a pregnancy test, I went to the store, got a pregnancy test, was going to take 2 negatives, turn it into a positive. And when, yes.
Take 2 negatives and turn it into a positive.
Yes, crack them open and turn them into a positive.
Oh, and put 2 of the lines together. So you had a plan to pretend you were pregnant in order to keep him.
The woman makes an accusation against Mr. Bowles. The audience reacts to the accusation. Mr. Bowles comments on several reasons why the accusation was not of concern to him. The judge then invites Mr. McElliott to the courtroom, and he describes the kind of relationship he has with the woman and how he found out about the pregnancy.
He was acting like he was the father, but when I told him I wanted to be in a committed relationship, I said I don't want to have who we are in a committed relationship. I was just tired of it. I was done. I didn't want him to disrespect me anymore. I could be carrying your child and you just disrespect me. I told him I didn't want to have anymore until we're in a committed relationship. We fell asleep because I was tired. He wakes me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and tells me he's going to go have with another woman.
What?
Yeah, so
You wake her up to tell her that?
First of all, we was just friends, so I can leave and go
just because I was asleep,
wherever.
that justifies what you did?
We wasn't together, so I can leave and go back to my house and do whatever I want.
This was about the first month that I was pregnant. And yes, I did chase him out of my house because I don't see why you would disrespect a woman that may be carrying your child like that. Any woman. Any woman.
The judge asks all parties involved a sensitive question, and they all respond. Mr. McElliott sheds more light on the issues and mentions a third person in his statement. The woman acknowledges and explains how the third person came into the picture. This new information shocks the audience.
Please describe your relationship with Ms. Kavanaugh.
My relationship with Ms. Kavanaugh, I would say, is a very special one. Me and her, we met, I got her number, I called her that evening and offered her to a movie. We hooked up and went out to eat or something like that. But ever since.
So you took her on dates and courted her and treated her like a lady should be treated?
Always.
Good. So at some point, she found out she was pregnant, and she says that she told Mr. Bowles. How did you find out?
She sent me a picture of an ultrasound. I also have that with me.
You do? Let me
Yes.
see that, please. Thank you.
Um,
Oh.
I looked at the ultrasound. She told me that the ultrasound actually resembled my mother. And I mean, I really couldn't understand how you can get facial features from an ultrasound, but.
The woman's mother blurts out how she doesn't quite understand society's view on an issue. The judge explains the issue to all in the audience. Along the line, Judge Larn raises some important points about a woman sleeping with several men and getting pregnant without knowing who the father of the child is.
Please elaborate on the third party.
It was a very drunken night. It was a one-night stand.
Do you remember whether you used protection or not?
No. That's why I think it may be another person, but I'm not quite sure.
This is the difference, and I want you to understand that. Because a lot of women feel like they want to compete with a man, and these men are running all over the place, and it's wrong. It's wrong all day long.
The judge offers resources and advice to help Ms. Kavanaugh. Ms. Kavanaugh reacts to the advice, and it is time to read the DNA result. One of the men directly involved is very excited to hear it, but the other looks displeased. The woman further explains how she feels about the way things turn out.
Kavanaugh, what your daughter learned was a very valuable lesson. A, pick and choose very wisely. Who you gonna lay down with, right? And look, you cannot make a man love you by trying to have his baby or trick him into having his baby.
And I never said that she could.
I've seen that. It's true. It's true.
Look, these aren't lessons just your daughter has to learn. These are lessons all women had to learn. I had to learn it. A lot of women in this courtroom had to learn it.
Your Honor,
You got to respect yourself enough to
true.
know. If he don't want you, leave him alone.
That's true, Your Honor.
That's it.
Your Honor, I've learned to respect myself, but not only for myself, but for my son.
That's it. I think it's time for the results.
Judge Lauren Lake takes on the compelling case of Miss Miller, whose goal is to prove to her ex-boyfriend Scotty that he is not the father of her 3-year-old daughter. Scotty reveals to the court what he thinks.
Ms. Miller, you're here to prove to your ex-boyfriend Scotty Rasmussen that he is not the father of your 3-year-old daughter, Zaylee Rasmussen.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Rasmussen, why is Ms. Miller saying you're not Zaylee's father?
Your Honor, I believe it's just out of pure hatred.
Ms. Miller talks about why he thinks she hates him and explains how she feels about him and his actions. She further says a shocking reason why she thinks Scotty wants to be her daughter's biological father.
Is that true, Ms. Miller?
No,
It's not.
no. Yes, I was very mad at him for being a cheater. He cheated on me through pretty much our whole relationship. No, I do not hate him because of that. Because I believe that the only reason why he wants the visitation is to claim her on his taxes.
That is the furthest thing from the truth.
Scotty claims he loves his daughter and wants to be in her life. He shows the court various proofs of his sacrifices to be closer to his daughter. Ms. Miller has a different opinion about the child support fees and shares her idea. However, Judge Larn speaks about her own opinion as to the reasons behind Scotty's actions.
I want to be in her life as much as I possibly can.
I mean, if he's driving 160 miles each way every other weekend, the money he would get in his taxes, he's spending in gas.
I'm paying my child support. I have my child support payments right here, plus an additional $3 fee, plus an additional $60 annual fee just to pay my child support.
You pay $50 a week.
Just under $50 a week. Plus that $3 with every check, plus another $60 every year to the state.
And that's not very much to get what she needs.
Is
I mean, at the end of the month-
it enough to buy her clothes so she doesn't have to wear cut-off sweatpants and the same t-shirt every time I pick her up?
I do that because I don't want... It's
Is
just what it
it
is.
enough money to buy her underwear so you don't got to keep putting her in diapers at 4
I
years
have
old?
underwear for her. And she is not in diapers, she is in pull-ups, she is in training right now. She is having problems.
She is
But
not
what he's
happy.
saying, Ms. Miller, is it's clearly not about money. If he's paying his child support.
Ms. Miller gives a confusing reply as to why she thinks her daughter is not Scotty's child. The judge explains how she believes Ms. Miller must have misled Scotty to feel that he is the father. Scotty's input makes the judge draw a conclusion.
Because I still believe that he's not hers.
Okay, and listen, that's what we're here for. I want to get down to the bottom of the truth.
Yeah.
You don't believe he's her biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So explain to me why.
When she was conceived in March of 2011. He wasn't even in the same state. He was in Vegas. And at that time in March, I wasn't even with him. I was with somebody else because he broke up with me because he cheated on me.
I'll be the first to admit it was a mistake.
Okay, we've gotten the fact that you two have an on and off relationship that has infidelity woven through. I understand that. Ms. Miller, you were stating to the court that you were intimate with someone else and you believe that you were intimate with that other person during the time Zaylee was conceived and Mr. Rasmussen was all the way in Las Vegas.
Yes, Your Honor.
Scotty explains why he believes he is the father of the child. He feels he must be the father since he sacrificed so much from the moment Ms. Miller was in labor till she was discharged from the hospital. But Ms. Miller thinks his actions are not genuine and gives a shocking reason why.
When Zaylee was born, you were at a doctor's appointment. I was at home because I had to work that day. I made it to that hospital in less than 35 minutes. I beat her to the hospital.
That's a lie. After she was born.
That was an amazing story. You say that was a lie?
Yes, it is.
The judge then asks Ms. Miller about her daughter's possible biological father. Ms. Miller claims not to know. Judge Lauren angrily explains the effects of Ms. Miller's actions on her daughter's future. The judge shows disapproval of Ms. Miller's actions.
Where's this other possible father?
I'm not even quite sure. After we broke up, he changed his number, he moved, he pretty much disappeared. I have tried to find him, I have tried to get a hold of him, and I can't find him.
But you keep saying, Mr. Rasmussen cheated, he did this, he did that. And as wrong as that may be, you also slept with somebody else.
We weren't even dating then. I was single at that time because he was with this other lady and I was the side chick, which I didn't even really know about.
All of this is happening and this man is continuing to step up to the plate like he has a daughter on the way, like he has a newborn baby girl. Even through the breakup, you all are making custody and visitation arrangements. But you know deep down there's another possible father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why wait so long to tell him?
The judge asks Scotty about the type of visitation he currently has. She also asks about his relationship with his daughter. He talks about their relationship, and he further breaks down the kind of visitation he has.
Right now, it's every other weekend, but I've had to jump through so many hoops to get to this point. And then sometime after that, we started out where I had to sit with Miss Miller and my daughter at a park for 4 hours once a week for 4 weeks. And then after that, I got her for 4 hours once a week for 4 weeks. And then after that, I got her for one overnight a week for 4 weeks. Then I got what I have now.
How is your relationship with Zaylee?
It's phenomenal.
Judge Lauren asks Scotty if he's ready for the worst. Scotty replies. The judge then reads the result, stating that Scotty is not the father. Ms. Miller is excited, and the judge cautions her. The judge also counsels Ms. Miller and shows her sadness and anger about the present situation of things with Scotty and his acclaimed daughter.
I don't think I'd be able to prepare myself for just how devastating that would be to not only me, but my entire family.
Jerome, I think it's time for the results.
Okay.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. When it comes to 3-year-old Zaylee Rasmussen, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Rasmussen, you are not the father. Miss Miller.
Be respectful.
Sorry.
Miss Miller.
I'm sorry.
What you cheering? I'm a single mother with nobody that loves me or my child. What you cheering for?
Judge Lauren Lake introduces the case of Mr. Lloyd, who wants to prove that he is the biological father of Courtney, a 1.5-year-old girl. He has something to say about his experience with Courtney's mother.
To prove that you are the biological father of the defendant's 1.5-year-old daughter, Courtney Marie Grimes. You claim the defendant led you to believe that you were the father only to have a bomb dropped on you that another man was her dad. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Rayleigh, you say you are 100% sure that Mr. Lloyd is not Courtney's biological father, and you will prove your case in court today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, we'll meet that other man in just a moment, but first...
Judge Lauren listens to both parties' sides of the story. The woman explains her situation at the time she met Mr. Lloyd. The man then explains his side and how he felt when he found out she was pregnant. He also gives a reason why he later had doubts about the paternity of Courtney.
I had just recently got out of a relationship when I had met Mr. Lloyd. Of course, I was ending my last relationship with the other party.
All right, so then you had finished the other relationship, or you were still kind of seeing this other guy?
We had just ended. It wasn't even a month apart or a week apart that me and him had ended. And we had started getting intimate right there.
All right, so Mr. Lloyd, at the time you were dating Ms. Rayleigh, did you feel like you were in an exclusive relationship?
At the time, I didn't. You know, as it prolonged, I did start catching feelings for her. Actually, we moved together afterward.
You did?
We moved in together.
So you moved in together?
Yes.
When she tells you she's pregnant, she comes to you and says what exactly?
We was actually sitting in her room, actually. We was talking. She started crying, said she was pregnant. I was excited, you know, this is my first child. So I was excited, and I was willing to take up the responsibility to be in Courtney Grimes' life. I already had doubts. I knew of this guy, you know, so I already had doubts about it.
The woman claims she wasn't with Mr. Lloyd, but with the other guy when she conceived. But Mr. Lloyd had something to say in response. Despite everything, the woman again informs him of a new development and explains why she is sure of her opinion.
So how far along into the pregnancy did she tell you that you're not the father?
It was like the last 4 months, but the 7th, 8th months, I left. I said, I'm done with it. This is not my baby. I moved to Indiana. I stayed down there for like a month, 2. I get a phone call, and she like, I have doubts. I don't think Courtney, I think the baby was even born, actually.
Mr. Lloyd tells the court about the unhappy way he found out about Courtney's birth.
I didn't even know the baby got born. I had to find out off of Facebook.
How old was Courtney when you first met her? Did you ever get to see her?
She let me see Courtney Grimes whenever I wanted to. She'd give him his chance and still give me my chance, too.
But wait, she gave the baby Mr. Grimes' last name.
I'm the one who came up with the name Courtney Marie.
Actually, Mr. Grimes came up with the name.
So wait, you sleeping with 2 different guys, but they both picked the same name.
Mr. Grimes says he isn't sure he's Courtney's father, and he gives a valid reason for it. He explains his current situation and how it will affect his payment of child support fees if Courtney is his. Mr. Lloyd talks about his job issues and the way he tries to assist Courtney's mother as often as he can.
Do you believe she's your biological child?
I'm gonna say yes. Then I got some doubts too, though, at the same time.
So you have doubts. Tell the court why you have doubts.
Since Shantia been pregnant, she been playing both sides. 1 minute Corey the daddy, next minute I'm the daddy. Corey about to spend some money on the baby, he the daddy. Like, we both still seeing her to this day, you know? So
you both still seeing her?
We both still seeing Courtney. I mean, he been to Memphis more than me. I've been to Memphis 1 time. He been down there 3, 4 times. But Shantia not telling me that.
So you saying this is supposedly your biological child with your last name, but this other man has been to see the child more than you?
Man, I'm talking about, I got my whole family calling me like, why is it another man with your daughter on this page talking about daddy's baby? Like I said, I got doubts. I mean...
Mr. Lloyd believes that Courtney is his, and he gives a beautiful reason why. The reason touches the heart of the judge as well as the audience.
My mom told me when I was little, when she used to change my diaper, used to do this diaper dance.
Okay.
I used to be excited. Courtney does the same thing when you change her diaper. And I have a birthmark on my life, on my left side of my forehead, as well as Courtney. That gave me a strong doubt that it is mine.
So you feel like, you feel like you have now for 18 months, you've made trips to see this baby, you spend time with this beautiful little girl, and you look at her and you feel like there are similarities. that confirm your belief that she's yours?
Yes, Your Honor.
This would be your first child.
Yes, Your Honor.
So this matters to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Miss Rayleigh, you're saying you are certain that Mr. Grimes is her biological father?
Yes, Your Honor.
Or are you saying that you have a younger child together as well, so you just believe?
When asked, Mr. Lloyd says what he would do if Courtney were his. Judge Lauren reads the results of the test. Mr. Lloyd couldn't be happier. The judge then advises all parties involved.
So, Mr. Lloyd, I just want to know from you, if this is your biological child, do you want to have a relationship with Ms. Rayleigh?
If Courtney was mine, I'm going to go down there and be a full-time parent with my daughter and support her through the whole 9 yards.
And if she is not?
Then I go on with my life.
The results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Lloyd versus Rayleigh, pertaining to whether Mr. Grimes or Mr. Lloyd is the father of 1-year-old Courtney Rayleigh Grimes, it has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Lloyd.
Happy for y'all. Congratulations. But you're done. I knew it from the start. You done, bro.
Calm down, because the truth is, it's not done. Because you might have another baby. You potentially impregnated the same girl again.